want to be able to give them what they come there for, but you need to be, like you said, keep opening the doors, keep opening the doors, keep opening the doors. So different people will come in, and that, because otherwise you risk becoming, sclerotic, where your creative arteries just fill up with plaque, and it's the same thing over and over and over again. Then it's just ritualistic, and there's no way out of that.
I can't easily talk to people or drink with the rabbit mask on.
Day in the life of a Empire shoot was problem solving, having a lot of fun, punctuated by moments of frustration because things like there being no money and crew getting pissed off and that kind of stuff.
And I've gone all over the world and climbed hills and valleys and dales and swamps and rain and everything, just to find the more original Dance Macabre artwork, which comes from the 1400s. And I pretty much stop around the 1800s, because after that it gets too modern for me.
It got horrible reviews. I mean, it got 1-star reviews, half-star reviews. You can keep the keep. Keep away from the keep. And those are the headlines, And that's also the title of my book. Hey, guys, come on.
When this show started, I wanted it to be very much in the spirit of the classic horror host shows.
Well, also with the horror genre, you can read horror novels and get a completely different experience. It's not formulaic. You can read a Rath James White book, and that's very, very different from a Charles L. Grant book.
It's harder and harder to find something genuinely scary. And I think that the trick of it, at least for me, for the stuff that I prefer, is that nuanced way of having things happen in the foreground and the background, so that there's no place that you can, like, quote, stand in the story and be safe.
I think I agree. And I also think that there's an element of us in that too, right? It's knowing our place, right? This idea, I think there's a megalomania in human nature and a kind of narcissism in human nature.
You think?
Maybe.
Other avenues that I want to go down. It's not like a late blooming realization. I've always had these things that I wanted to explore. I wouldn't have done so many different kinds of horror if that compulsion to keep exploring wasn't there, or and the foray into crime fiction. The need for a new horizon is there, rather than just staking out the same turf.
Lord, this is huge. So nobody's really talking about this right now. So The Pale Door, which is my next, it's a horror western that I made with Joe R. Lansdale, and easily the most ambitious film I've ever made, most personal film I've ever made. And we've been talking about it, and we're like, look, let's just put this out in August. If there are some theaters open, we'll do some socially distanced theaters, but let's push it in drive-ins.
I think you got a call or a fax from some lady in Hawaii. She says, my sister has just died, and I find among her effects a manuscript called The Shadow Out of Time by H.P. Lovecraft. Do you want it?
And I think if you read a good horror story, it's almost like a vacuum cleaner. It hoovers up those fears. It gives you, scares you. I think in a way it's quite therapeutic, and
we need some fun, man. We need to listen to more music, read more books, just do things we enjoy.
One night the phone rang, and it was my dad, and he said, if you're not busy tonight, I've done something I think is pretty good, and I think maybe you and the boys might enjoy it. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. And it was The Grinch.